Hey guys, K Bill here with Social FD, and tonight I'm speaking with Dylan and Tamara from Hackworth Fire Collection. Welcome in, guys. Thank you for doing this tonight.
Thank you for having
Thank
us,
you.
sir.
If you could briefly give a quick explanation what Hackworth Fire Collection is and what you guys do.
Well, we'll start with us. I'm Dylan Hackworth. I'm a volunteer at Glasgow Volunteer Fire Department. I'm a lieutenant. I have been with Kanawha County Emergency Ambulance Authority we're out of Kanawha County, which would be Charleston, West Virginia, for about 4 years now.
I'm Tamara Cooper. I'm also a volunteer on Glasgow Volunteer Fire Department, and I have been with Kanawha County Ambulance Authority for about 8 months now.
So I started collecting in 2020, just picking up little things here and there, West Virginia stuff. It's always been West Virginia fire stuff. And just kind of snowball effect. It went from a corner in my bedroom and then it just kind of rolled over and just kept getting bigger and bigger. And we are up to 3,400 followers on Facebook, almost 1,000 on TikTok. A lot of the people who like our content really aren't TikTokers. But the TikTok thing is for the younger people. So, kind of explain what that is. So, several hell, it's been years ago now. One of the local legends, Kevin Rapp Bess, he's a legend. He just is truly a West Virginia legend when it comes to
Everyone around here knows who he is. As soon as you
yes.
say his name, it's like, oh, yeah, I know who that is.
So he called me to his house and was like, I got some patches for you. That was my bread and butter forever was patches. And we went through his patches, and I was leaving. He's like, hey, you want to look at my old pictures? And I'm like, sure. He's like, how about this? Just take these photo albums with you and scan them or whatever, digitalize them, and I'll get them back from you. Well, you know how that goes. I, you forget about them. They're sitting in the fire room, which is where we're at now. We call this the fire room, and this is the collection room for now. Hopefully, um, but scanned the photos one night and just threw them out on my personal Facebook, and it blew up. I have probably 15 new friend
Yeah.
requests, all kinds of comments, all kinds of likes. And I was like, okay, this kind of goes with me collecting. Somebody's got to preserve these photos and they deserve to be out there. So we had a Safer Grant meeting down the street from our house, and a few of the chiefs were there. And Tommy Miller, he goes around the country teaching classes. He's big in the NFPA. You might know him actually, or he might somebody on this podcast that's watching will know Tommy. And Tommy was like, stick around. We need to talk after this. And I'm like, oh God, you know what I mean? Like, who knows what Tommy's going to tell me? And he says, you don't realize what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, that sounds negative. And I'm like, what am I doing? He's like, there's people calling me at 9 o'clock at night saying, hey, have you seen the most recent Dylan Hackworth post? He was like, get that stuff off your Facebook before it bounces back at you. You post a HIPAA, you know what I mean? Something like that to legality, and get it on a Facebook page. And I'm like, I'll do it on a group. He's like, no, 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 do not do a group. Do your own thing that you can control. And ever since then, it has just blew up.
It took off a whole lot faster and better than we thought. Just mainly we were planning on doing Kanawha County stuff here in West Virginia, but then it grew to statewide, and we're traveling all over the place.
All over this great state of West Virginia. We're trying hard to keep it West Virginia because you travel to other states and they have firemen museums. West Virginia has nothing like that. So we are the first in the state of West Virginia to do anything on this level. And we finally have some money coming in. We were selling these actual um 3D printed hotel keys, and we sold those for $5 a piece just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
We opened an account and these blew up. So all proceeds from that go straight to the HFC bank account, which pays for gas, maintenance on our cars, camera equipment. We got paid the other day and I dropped $600 on a GoPro, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, but you got to spend money to make money, especially in
Right?
these early days of stuff.
I
But
was going to say, I see you
it's
guys travel
not,
all over the place, and I've been watching your videos, and there's one video in particular, and that caught my attention because here at Social FD, we're a nonprofit, a 501c3, and we help volunteer fire departments with online engagement. Okay, we try to let them know, hey, you need to post more, that kind of thing. We help them build a website. We do it for free. And your TikTok video really caught my attention because it's something that I've been talking about that has become a problem through the fire service. And quite honestly, it really hits the volunteer fire service the most. Could you describe that video I'm talking about?
So, first, I had to take a step back and explain that video. We went to Barbersville Fire Department and caught a 16-year-old girl's junior fireman's first NVA, and she was tickled to death. She was so excited. I thought she was going to cry. She was so excited. And I did a 20-second interview, just bam, 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 question, question, question. And she answered them rapid fire, and that was it.
Disclaimer, we did have permission from
I
her
was
mother.
getting there. I was getting there. The mother was like, feel free to post it. And I got with the girl, even though, like, sorry, me, if you're watching this, you really don't have a choice. You're underage. You can't say what gets posted or not. But we posted it, and it blew up. At the end of it, we had 70,000 views on it. And then the world saw it. We had a union fireman from the state of Oregon get on there and comment initially, come on, say what we're all thinking. And I'm like, I literally fired back. It's like, what are you thinking? This is under my own page. And then he brings
Kind
her,
of dodged the question.
dodged
and
the
then-
question, and then puts the NFPA standard for weight for somebody's body mass. And my phone immediately rang. It was the mother, and she was like, can we please take it down? Mia's upset. I'm like, absolutely. Stupid me, I didn't screenshot the comments because, at that time, I'm like, okay, I got to protect this girl's image. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not letting this guy get away scot-free. So I took my camera that we're actually doing the webcam. I was like, we're getting ready to watch the NASCAR race. We're big NASCAR fans besides the fire stuff. And I was like, I can't type what I'm thinking. I was like, I have to just speak it. So I walked outside, started walking pretty much up and down my street.
Yeah.
Probably looked like a moron to the people who driving by, and just spoke my feelings. There's too often in the fire service that we're eating our young and making them feel like this isn't a safe place. This poor 16-year-old girl is spending her free time to get on a fire truck
to
and
volunteer in her community. Not most 16-year-olds would do that, especially 16-year-old females.
Exactly. And I didn't expect for my comeback video to explode like it did. And then it's all over Facebook. Everybody's messaging me like, kudos to you for saying this. And I'm like, why are we not doing it? Like, we can say
Right.
it, but until we do it,
The thing is, okay, so you had mentioned Hefty, and I want to put this out there. Hit it hard from the yard. Okay. The the Yard Foundation does amazing work. Amazing work.
phenomenal job.
I mean, absolutely. And Hefty is funny. It's funny. But there's a mentality in people that enjoy that content that now go out
Mm-hmm.
and they choose to hide behind that. Okay.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy
And
because we have volunteer fire
the thing about
departments.
it is,
Go ahead.
the thing about that kills me is it's different if you're on my fire department and I heckle you. This is a 16-year-old girl.
Just getting her start.
You're a grown union fireman, and you are talking trash to a 16-year-old girl about her weight. And this is the even more disappointing part. And I don't care. Come after me. She sent a letter to the union hall that he belonged to, because it's in his bio. And they pretty much told us to get bent, that we protect that our fireman's First Amendment right. And I'll tell you this right now. I hung out with every union member of the Charleston Fire Department this morning at the Woolworth fire, and they said, absolutely not. That would not happen here in the great state of West Virginia, because we care about each other. It don't matter if you're volunteer paid, because some points, Charleston's the largest paid fire department in the state. Sometimes there's a volley engine housing in their bays because they're out on so many runs that they have to call in volunteers. It's different here in West Virginia, and if people want to argue that fact, bring it on because I have no shame in this game.
right? And that's what I'm getting at. So we complain about the newer generation. I've said this before that they don't want to volunteer, they don't want to do this, they don't want to try to do that, but yet we're not out there trying to talk to them, and that's what we talk about.
No,
Everybody that we're going to need to reach is on social media. Okay. When I
it,
was younger, you see the fire truck go by, they'd stop, play basketball, whatever. We were outside and they were driving by, and that's how we got our interest. But now, mainly these kids, this generation coming up, are on their phone. Hey, whatever. Okay, it is
yeah,
what it is. And the issue is that now more than ever, social media is hurting the fire service because of people like that with that mentality. They're putting it out there wrong.
100%.
And that's why I wanted to talk with you because I think you share the same feeling I have that in order for us to maintain the fire service and the integrity and to continue to grow the fire service and secure its future, we're going to have to be nice. You know what I mean? Just
I
be nice.
mean,
We got kids coming in that don't know what a screwdriver is. We teach them. We don't ridicule them. Yeah, we have fun with them, but we don't need to break them down. We need to build them up, you know?
and my volley house here, we have a younger group.
Yeah.
I have the dad bod. I don't care. I'm 24 and she's 26, and I'm the youngest officer at our fire department. We have about 20 guys, and we have a 13-mile radius. I'm sure somebody's gonna get here and be like, I have 1,000-mile response. I don't care. You know what I mean? You're not if you're out here putting down young people who want to learn, so be it if they don't know what a screwdriver is. Teach them. And
That's right.
that's it.
Everybody has to be taught one way or another.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
100%.
honestly, you put that bad thought in their mind, they're not going to want to be there. They're not going to want to put 100% in it. And if they do stick around and they're not 100%, somebody's going to die. This is not something that we like, well, you're too dumb. Go, you're out of here. What's wrong with taking pride in what we do? Now,
Right.
yes, you can say, well, they're a volunteer. Well, I'm not going to say it's the same job because it's not. I'm not going to go down that tangent. But the problem with it a lot is there's a few bad eggs out there that give us all one reputation, and we're not all like that.
Hmm. No, I agree. And that's kind of what I concentrate on. Well, one, I'd like to see volunteer fire departments post more. A lot of times, all you see is pancake breakfasts and fundraisers of some sort, a big fire. But they're out there posting because they're posting mainly that because they're trying to get support and trying to get funding because they need funding. I get all that, but you got to build that community support. But a part of that too is to fix this issue that we're having with this mentality of, hey, I'm going to go on Facebook or TikTok and ridicule everybody I can. And unfortunately, it doesn't help. Okay. They're not helping us. They're not helping the fire service when they do that. Uh, Wanting to talk about the weight of someone or someone having too much of facial hair or, I mean, we use those opportunities and I'm all for it to use it in the back of the bay with your people, gather up your guys and say, hey, this guy isn't a professional. We don't stand for that. Use it as an example, but don't go on social media and tearing someone apart on the community page for their community because you're
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
causing that dissension with the community and that department.
And one thing I'd like to add to that is, if you have this big of problems, by God, move to Barbersville, West Virginia and join their fire department. And by God, you can go to a board meeting and change it.
Right?
You don't see anybody moving across the country to do that. So
Yeah.
that's the way I look at it. If she's out here spending her time and all these young people, if they want to do it, by God, let them.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the other thing. We're complaining that this younger group isn't coming in, and then when they do come in, we want to tear them down and attack them and make them feel uncomfortable about being there. And then this happens, and it just destroys that young person's drive. It extinguishes that spark that they had to join the fire service to help people because some jerk states over, right, wants to say what he said.
Across the country.
Yeah, right.
Right. Right.
And one thing, thankfully, it happened to her. Or not, how should I say this? I've already said it. Thankfully, it happened to her, and she was able to turn it into a positive thing.
Mhm.
She
Right.
was upset the night it happened, which, I mean, 16-year-olds care about image. All teenagers care about image. Some girls are even worse, especially girls are worse.
Yeah.
But the next day, her mom texted me and said, I don't know what you did, but there's people all over the country messaging this girl. And she made a post. She does a thing for female firefighters,
It's
and
called Her Turn to Serve.
her turn to serve, yes. And she turned what was a horrible situation into a positive situation. She got invited to a women in firefighting camp in West Virginia for
Nice.
her and her mother for free. So I had a
That's
really
beautiful.
bad sense of guilt after it, and I'm starting to see it at a different angle, and I'm starting to feel a little better about that whole thing.
Well, sometimes something uncomfortable happens that's going to change things, right? Um,
Right.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying that it's something that should ever happen because we're speaking against it, right? But like you said, it's an unfortunate situation that some guy had to say that. But right now we're having this conversation to hopefully get it out there to others. Stop doing it. If you're going to do something like that, do it in a private Facebook group with your buddies, a Snapchat, say, "Hey, check this out. This is stupid." Whatever, right? But don't go
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
publicly saying it where the community see, I tell everybody the community gets lost in the jokes, right? The community doesn't understand what a fog nozzle or smoothbore is. All they know is that it sprays water. And when
Yeah.
we muddle up that area where the community is at with sideways comments that it could either be made as a joke, could either be made as trying to offer leadership, whatever it might be, they're still tearing it down. And it's a very fine line for the community to not get lost in that. If you see something like that and you don't like what the guy's doing, if you think he has a beard and you think he shouldn't, message him. You don't have to
Yeah.
put it on the post. Message that department and tell them,
I
hey,
com-
man, I have declared myself as the NFPA police, and I'm going to tell you that you need to do XYZ. Be a man about it and message that department directly. We got to stop hiding behind the keyboards, guys. We got to stop hiding behind the keyboards because
the
we're
people,
doing nothing more than tearing the fire department apart. And
and you're tearing apart the brotherhood.
at 100%, 100%, we're having a hard enough
And
time.
the thing is,
We're having a hard enough time between the jokes between volleys and paid, right? Which is fun with me. I
yeah,
enjoy that stuff.
exactly.
But when people are tearing apart for no reason and saying things that don't need to be said, that's where the issue is.
Well, also the issue is, this grown man is a union fireman. And not only when you look at his Facebook, it says IAFF. And I'm, not telling you the union hall, I'm not telling you his name. I just told you the state. That could be any union member in the state. But that is also a black eye to all Oregon union members, IAFF members in that state.
Yeah.
Right.
My personal opinion, I feel like if you're in the IAFF, you should be boasting the younger generation or these younger kids that are trying to get out and volunteer in their community rather than trying to bash them and put them down.
And, I'll
100%.
take it even one step I'll take it one step farther. And this is deep diving. What if she would have went home that night and blew her brains out?
Right.
I mean, then whose fault is it?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's 100% something that could have happened. Thank God that it didn't. I mean, Hackworth Fire Collection would probably be no more. And I'm not even going to go further into this, but
Things like that do happen.
they do. And especially when it comes to teenagers who care so much about image. And all I'm saying is, I'm not saying walk down the street and hand out flyers for your volunteer houses. Open your bay doors when you're there. That is something that I use at our fire department anytime I'm there, even if I'm in the very back and can't see the trucks.
We have kids ride their bikes around all the time coming in, especially if we have popsicles. They know we have a water cooler right there. "Hey, can we get a water? Can we get this?" And normally, we're, "Here you go."
Yeah,
And that's what it's about.
and
And that's what it's
they're
about.
and
Or putting air in their tires, anything, just
they're walking down the street passing football with each other, and I'll walk out of the bay and throw me the ball, and that's the kind of stuff that kids remember.
yeah.
Right. Right. And like you said, so I'm going to touch on this very carefully. Paid guys like to tout themselves as professional. Okay. Which is fine. Volunteers, I said this the other day. We're staffed, we're professionally staffed by volunteers. You know, the reality is everybody's out there trying to do the same job. And we're all held to the same high standard in the community's eye. They don't care if I'm getting a paycheck or not. All they care about is I do the job that I'm there to do. And I do it well, and I'm prepared, and I'm trained, and I'm ready. That doesn't include tearing apart someone's junior, I'm going to stress that junior, tearing apart someone's ability to want to serve. And you brought up that he was union, and it could be non-union, it could be volunteer or whatever. I mean, it could have been anyone, but you're right. It's uncalled for, and it's destroying the fire service, destroying it because it's in the front of the community, and it should stop. And I just want to say I appreciate you bringing that story with me. I wasn't planning on keeping you this long, but I'm super interested, and I'd like to talk to you again if when we have more time or have more of an opportunity to speak. Is there anything left unsaid that you would like to say before we kind of close this out?
If there is any West Virginia fire departments watching this, please reach out to us. We are willing to travel. We are focusing on all West Virginia, West Virginia fire and EMS, and we're trying our best to preserve the history that's slowly dissolving. And to anybody that would want to do an interview with us, your story needs to be heard because when you die, these stories are going with you. And we believe that it is very important to keep these things archived.
I agree. I agree. That's why I do a little bit of the podcast I do and what we do. I love what you guys are doing. We're gonna have to hook up more. I like where this is going. I like to see how it goes. I'm out there watching, so I'm always on social media somewhere looking at everything. So I appreciate you guys. Do you have a website or anything that we can put out there for folks?
We do not have a website yet. Right now, it is just Facebook and TikTok and YouTube, and pretty much everything is Hackworth Fire Collection or something of that. Everything has the same logo, so just Hackworth Fire Collection on Facebook, and then there's links off to that to our merchandise store, our YouTube, and TikTok. And all
Awesome.
proceeds from the merchandise go straight into the bank account I talked about earlier to pay for gas to travel the state.
Well, I like I said, I appreciate your time. I would like to do this again here soon. Maybe go in a little more depth in a few things. Um, but hey, again, this is K Bill with Social FD, going beyond the nozzle. Check us out and make sure you guys follow Hackworth Fire Collection on TikTok. Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.